Hello everybody. First of all, I would like to greet you with all respect and honor. And secondly, I would like to thank God and all the organizers. And I am very glad to participate in this. Thirdly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lia Vung Zom Niang, and right now I am studying grade 11th in Basic Education High School No.2 Tedim. Today I am gonna tell a story. And the topic of my story is a deer drinking from a river, which in our dialect we call Sakhi Tui Nekna Tangthu. This is one of our Chin folk tales, and it is a very interesting one. Now let me begin my story. Once upon a time, on a sunny day, a thirsty and timid deer was coming to a river, and as soon as he was just lowering his head to drink the water, a tadpole suddenly swam and just splashed around the water. So the deer was so frightened, and he ran as fast as he could. As he was running out of fright, he was not aware of the swordman who was in front of him, and he pushed him with such a force. So the swordman, which in our language we call them sonpa, he was so frightened, and he also ran with the sword which he had in his hand, and he ran out of fear. And as he was running, he accidentally cut the siblings' swing. Then the sibling, when they saw the swordman with his sword in his hand cutting their swing, they were so frightened and sad, and they were crying and mumbling and running for help. As they were running, they were not aware of the cockle, which in our language we call vabak. They were not aware of that cockle's nest which was on the ground, and they unknowingly stepped on that. The frightened bird also, when she was attacked, she was so frightened and she flew away with fright, and she randomly found a beehive. The bees, who thought that somebody has attacked them, they were so frightened, and then they ran out and flew out to protect their beehive. Then one of the bees, he came and stung an elephant's ear, and the elephant, who felt the pain, he couldn't bear it anymore, so he ran and jumped and cried for help and accidentally stomped on the queen, who was the king's wife. And then the king, who heard about this sad news, was very, very sad, and he was very angry at the same time. He said, "I have to make about an inquiry. This is not just a problem. I have to ask the elephant." Then he came to the elephant and asked, "Elephant, why have you stomped on my beloved and innocent and beautiful wife?" Then the elephant answered, "Oh my king, I am so sorry, but while I was just enjoying the nature, I was just staying peacefully, and I was just walking. Suddenly a bee came and just stung me in my ear, so I was just so in pain, and I couldn't bear it anymore. So I just ran and just unintentionally I stomped on her." Then the king went to investigate further, and he went to the bee. "Bee, why have you stung the elephant?" Then the bee answered, "Your Majesty, we're just on our beehive, and suddenly a cockle bird has come and attacked and fed our beehive, so we were just so frightened. That's why I came and I just fly out of fear, and I just stung the elephant's ear." Then the king went to investigate further, and he went to the cockle bird and asked, "Cockle, why have you just fanned the beehive?" Then the cockle bird answered, "Your Majesty, while I was just resting on my nest peacefully, the two siblings has come and just attacked me and just stomped on my nest. So I was just so frightened, and I don't know what to do, and I just fly out of fear, and I randomly fell on them." Then the king went to the siblings and asked, "Siblings, why have you just stepped on the cockle's nest?" Then the siblings answered, "Your Majesty, while we were just swinging happily on our swing, the swordman had come and just cut off our swing. When we saw him with the sword in his hand, we thought that he's gonna kill us. So we are just running out of fear, and we unknowingly stepped on it." Then the king went to the swordman. "Swordman, why have you just cut the innocent siblings' swing?" Then the swordman answered, "Your Majesty, while I was just sharpening my knife peacefully and singing my favorite songs, a deer had come and pushed me. I thought somebody has attacked me, and I was so frightened that I ran away as fast as I could, and I accidentally just cut off the swing of the siblings. Then the king went to the deer and asked, "Deer, why have you pushed the swordman?" Then the deer answered, "My king, while I was just lowering my head to drink water in the river, a tadpole suddenly swam and just splashed around the water. That frightened me too much that I ran, and I was not aware of the swordman who was in front of me." Then the king at last went to the tadpole and asked, "Tadpole, why are you just splashing whenever you want?" as the deer was drinking water. Then the tadpole answered, "King, you have no right over me. This is my place, and this is my home, and this is my territory. I will splash whenever I want and whenever I want." Then, after saying these things, the tadpole went down to the river. Then the inquiry of the king came to an end. So from this story, with the Zomi, people usually have a saying, when we wanna forecast something from the beginning, it goes like this. Sakhi Tui Nekna Tangthu, which in our English we can translate into, if we start from the deer's drinking. And in another proverb, in our English proverb, we also say, to start the ball rolling, which also has the same meaning. So from this story, we can learn many things. But I choose two things that we can learn. The first one is we have to be careful in everything we do, because even a small little act can make into a very large problem. Like because of the tadpole splashing and just swimming around whenever he wants, even the queen's death has happened. So we have to be careful in everything we do. Secondly, we have to, whenever something frightening or scary is happening, we should not be just afraid, or we should not always think to run. But instead, we should try to be calm, and we should just try to fix that problem and solve that problem. I hope you will all enjoy my story. Thank you.